Hey Sam, how you doing? Thanks for getting this work in. I read your writing where you said you've been kind of sick lately, so I totally get how hard it is to try to work when you're sick. So I really appreciate what you've done. Your paragraph regarding your sequencing rationale makes really good sense, and I just want to mention a couple of things about this assignment itself. It's a good idea for you to look at the sequencing of your portfolio for every interview. You really, I mean, in a perfect world, I really want students to understand that, your final portfolio is never your final portfolio. You have typically 12 to 15 pieces that you're going to show in a portfolio, but you should have about 40 pieces all ready to go. And I know that we don't for this class, but this is something that you'll shoot for as a designer, because you're going to keep working on a portfolio for the rest of your life. So when I say about 40 pieces in your arsenal, that means that you have 40 different pieces pointing to different skills. For example, if you have an interview with a web company, you're going to want to fill your portfolio with web examples. Okay. Conversely, if you have an interview with a design firm that specializes in editorial design, you're going to want to show a lot of articles in editorial design and really good attention to typography in your portfolio. And one final example would be if you're going for an interview for a job that emphasizes illustration, you're going to want to show a lot of illustration in your portfolio. I know that. I know that makes sense, but a lot of students don't understand it. The portfolio should be a piece of interchangeable parts, depending on the need of the employer, the specific employer that you're going to interview on. Okay, so these are good. I mean, the whole point here, look, Sam, I could go through your whole dialogue and say, yeah, you can say this, and you can say this, and you should do this, and you should do that. But I'm not going to do that because that's micromanaging, and I'm just not all about that. All I want to do is to tell you that it's really, really important for you to be able to answer every question you can possibly imagine about your work. Okay? I know when I have a student designer sitting in front of me for an intern position, and I'm going to tell you something, man, I've been doing this and I do it on purpose, but I'll ask a lot of questions. For example, what typeface is this and why did you use it? And why did you mix that typeface with this typeface? And if you can't name those typefaces and tell me why you used them, there's a serious issue. So really, what I did when I was a student is I printed out a journal and I studied it. I remember laying in bed after graduation with my journal, just reading through it every single night, memorizing my typefaces and why I chose them. And it really, really helped, because if somebody says to you, oh, this is a nice piece, what typeface is that? Why did you decide to use that? You can say, oh, that's Helvetica. The reason I use that is because I'm looking for an objective, blah, 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 blah. All right, bam, you just hit that one right out the ballpark. Conversely, let's go over here and say, okay, for this piece here, what was your reasoning behind these color choices? Okay, and have a reason. All right, have a reason. What was the reason for presenting this backwards? And have a reason. What is the significance between these dots and these lines? And, have a good reason, and really look through all of your work and decide what the reason is. Okay. That is just of absolute critical importance. I cannot tell you how important that is. All right. Going through, I see you've got this nice grid set up. And the thing is, my problem with the grid is that it's great. Okay. Basically what you have is a 3 by 2 or 3 by 3, but it's not. Is that going to end up being 3 by 3? Let's just Command R this and see. That would be roughly 2.5 inches. And that would be roughly 5. Yeah, so this is going to work out. No, it's not. It's not. You're off a little bit in your math. I don't think this box is going to fit in this box twice, as it should. Okay, so remember, all of your grid should be a derivative of the grid itself, all right? So this should fit here and here. So it would have 3 rows down. It looks like it's going to fit here. So you have 3 rows across. But think about it. Even though you're using 2 rows, or even though you're using two columns here, you still have the ability to be able to take this box right here and fit it in here, this box twice. So that all has to add up. All right. Now, the one thing I'm noticing in your work is that you've got this same layout going quite a bit. This double width module right here, and then this single width module right here. Then with something below. We see it here, here, here. My idea is this: instead of showing it like that, mix it up a little bit. In some, show the 3 on top. On some, show the double on this side and the single on this side. On some pages, show the double on this side, the single on this side. Excuse me. You see what I mean? So you're mixing it up quite a bit. This right here is encroaching. It's just too close. Let me pull a guide down here to the bottom of that, and you can see it's just really right on your type. So I would say, rework this grid so that baseline does not interfere with your type. Okay. And just remember, the grid has got to be mathematically consistent within itself. Okay, so you wouldn't go try to fit 4 boxes across the side here, right? You wouldn't do that. You would make them all this size so that they would fit, right? And everything looks hunky-dory, okay? So other than that, my last comment is this. This works really well. And let me tell you, the one thing I think is missing from your work is actually photographing the work. Well, actually, I shouldn't say it's missing from your work because you've done it quite a bit. But let me show you some examples. Okay. You got to get your salutations and your date on that. Really get that formatted like a business letter. Okay, looking great, looking awesome. Oh, I wanted to remind you, let me see, a couple of things. Okay, so you have this where you kind of take the digital version and zoom in and show some areas of typography, which is good, it's smart. But there's areas where, let me see. Okay, this, for example, I think a really great idea here would be to mock that up. All right, that's what is it? That's a digital illustration. So this is a poem, but what would it be? A flyer or a poster? I don't know, but figure out what it's going to be and mock it up as such, just like you did with this. This is fabulous right here, just fabulous. It's gorgeous. That's how it's done. So try to get a mock-up for that if you can. In a perfect world, print it out, lay it on an angle, and photograph that typography. And photograph the close-up of the illustrations instead of just giving us a close-up of the digital version. Okay, I am pushing 8 minutes, and I didn't want to do that. But other than that, you're phenomenal. You're there. I mean, you're just so close. This is another piece. Can you print this out and photograph it? I just think that it would be a wonderful way to go. And I just want to show you one thing really quick here. Okay, let me see. Here, how to photograph portfolio graphic design. Here's what I'm looking for right here. Just creative. This is a really good way to set up a little home studio. And it looks like it's not going to load up. Something's going on. Well, here it goes. But if you remember the search that I had was how to photograph your graphic design work. And this is just creative. And this is a really, really great one. And it shows you how to set up your own home studio and some really good tricks on how to shoot your work. Stuff like that looks really wonderful in a graphic design portfolio. Okay, so try that, and that's all I have for right now. And it looks like I can make this under 10 minutes. Yay! Yay me. That's a first. Anyways, as you know. Anyways, that's all I have. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free. You know the drill. All right, thank you, Sam. Awesome job. I'll see you in class. Thanks.